Hello, welcome to the Echo Tips Podcast. In this week's episode, we're going to be dealing with a brand new skill that should be out today, if not maybe by the end of the day, known as the Blue Ridge Reading Skill. The Blue Ridge Reading Skill. And this is part of a set of, it's part of a class, so you could say, of skills that are provided by many different nonprofits across the United States and radio stations that are specifically geared towards those with print impairments. That could be due to vision loss, could be totally blind, connected to a class of services called the Radio Reading Service for the Blind, basically. And that could also include dyslexia, other things, maybe due to motor impairments, you can't flip the pages of a book. So a class of services across the United States that you may have never heard of before. But many people find this beneficial, both those that maybe fall into this category, like myself, that have I have low vision and I'm legally blind, or if you have family members that are getting up in age and their eyesight is maybe diminished, but they'd like to keep up with the news and current events. So this sort of skill and services like this across the United States may be especially of interest to you. But before we get into that in any sort of detail, we're going to go to a brief message about our podcast, and then I'll be right back. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys, and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Well, hello again and welcome back. As I mentioned earlier, we're going to be talking about the Blue Ridge Reading Skill today, which is brand new, hot off the presses, as it were, whatever the digital equivalent is. I don't know what that is, but anyway, it should be up on the skill store now. Now, I'm going to be saying the A-Lady name quite a bit, so I'll just put that out there right now. So if you want to try and find an echo that's in hearing distance of me that I might otherwise trip up with our tutorial today, you might want to shut its ears off. Okay? Now, while you're doing that, I'm going to tell you what you're listening to. To you new listeners, we'd like to welcome you. You're welcome to the Echo Tips Podcast, where we talk about little nuggetized features of the Echo, brand new things. Sometimes we dust off some old goodies, new equipment and devices that are released, sometimes home automation things, all sorts of cool stuff like that. And we try to keep it somewhere between 5 to 15 minutes an episode, and we try to make a new episode every week that comes out on Wednesday. Now, for our returning listeners, we'd like to welcome you back as well. And because of both of you, we're about to break 80,000 listens to the podcast. And so we really appreciate that. At the tail end of the episode, we'll mention ways you can reach out to us with thoughts, topics, things maybe you'd like to hear us talk about, how to do them on your Echo in the future. Okay, so let's delve right back into this, into the deep end of the pool. So there are radio stations you obviously can get on your Echo through the TuneIn. We've discussed that in Season 1. Pretty awesome. Play, WVTF radio, whatever, and it goes and pulls the live stream. Now, often, though, you won't find these radio stations on TuneIn, although there are a few, and you definitely won't find it anywhere on your radio dial in your car or on your stereo or anything. Why? Because these stations are specially designed with the blind and disabled in mind. They have print impairments. across the United States. Almost, I think, in every state of the United States, there are radio reading services run by colleges and nonprofits and public radio stations and the like. And they have volunteers that read the newspapers from the local community, other books and materials, coupons, whatever, that people with print impairments or are totally blind, low vision, whatever the like is, couldn't read on their own or find easily in an accessible format. And this service has been going on for years, long time, and is based on ancient technology that was integrated into the music that played in elevators and in Kmart's. That used to be especially a subcarrier radio frequency that people would pay money for. And that's how you get the little music playing in your elevator. It was a little radio that was built into the wall and tuned to one of these things. Well, obviously, all of that went out of fashion. And that kind of technology was just sitting there. And that's where the blind community jumped in and other communities jumped in and said, this could be really useful to have like our own proprietary network just for those that can't maybe read their newspaper or other materials without some sort of assistance. So anyway, hence radio reading services were born across the United States and been around for a long time, since the 70s easily. So here in my neck of the woods in Roanoke, Virginia, Southwest Virginia, we've had WVTF Public Radio, sometimes called WVTF Radio IQ, that has been at the forefront of doing the radio reading service in our community. And I help distribute some of those radios, and they're very old, antiquated style radios, crystal radios, and they're very difficult to come by anymore. But now we're bringing this into the 21st century with Alexa, and a brand new Alexa skill called the Blue Ridge Reading Skill. Now, by all means, we're not the first to do this. There's radio reading services in other parts of Virginia. I know in Norfolk. There's Arizona, other states that have this same feature, where they've taken what's being broadcast on the radio and they stream it out across the internet as well. And through their Alexa skills, and in particular our Alexa skill today, you can hear what's happening. And so let's give it a try. So, and like I said, this skill is brand spanking new. So let me turn the ears on my Echo. That might be a good first start. Alexa, open Blue Ridge Reading.
Welcome to the Blue Ridge Radio Reading Service. You can say listen live to listen live or play program schedule to hear the program schedule.
Program schedule. Hello, welcome to today's Tuesday schedule for the WVTF Radio Reading Service. We'll start with our morning schedule. That voice sounds familiar, doesn't it? Starting at 12. So let me just mute that for a second. So every day there's different things being read. So there is a schedule if you want to know when the newspaper's read. So you can ask for the schedule, and you're going to hear a recording of what the day's current schedule is. And as you can tell, I was the one that recorded that. At the end of this, it will prompt you, once again, do you want to listen to the schedule or do you want to listen live? Let's just jump ahead to that and prompt Alexa to listen live. At 4 a.m., we'll Alexa, have the daily book read live.
The audio information provided by the WVTF Radio Reading Service is produced and distributed exclusively for use by blind, visually impaired, print impaired, or physically handicapped individuals under the authority of Section 121 of Title 17 of the United States Code, or with permission of the copyright owners. Audio programming may not be reproduced, transmitted, displayed, distributed, sold, or transferred under any circumstances.
Okay.
By continuing to listen, I understand and agree that these requirements have been met.
Into the violent clashes,
there we
people
go.
were asking, where is Nazarbayev?
This is what's on the radio right now.
That he was with the Kazakh people, but in this period of crisis, why he's not
so
making
I'm going to mute
speeches?
that now.
And
or I could just say, Alexa,
January.
Stop. There we go. All right, excellent. Okay, so that gives you a little quick view of our brand new skill that pipes into the radio reading service for our region and area. And so pretty cool. And pretty amazing. So, and like I said, If you are living in a different part of the United States and you have a family member that has a vision impairment or some sort of other print disability where it makes it difficult for them, please make inquiries. Do a Google search and see if there is a radio reading service near you, and maybe they have an Alexa skill. And in fact, something you can Google, let me jump over to my browser here real quick. Something in particular you can search for that I want to give you the right phrase for, and I guess I always get this acronym messed up. It's the International Association of Audio Information Services, which is an acronym IAAIS. So IAAIS. And you can find a listing of every state in the union, I think, there, and you can go down and look for the different services across the United States. And it'll even tell you whether they have, a lot of times it'll tell you whether they do internet streaming or the like, or have an Alexa skill. I think that's in there. But even if it's not, you could call, it'll have the contact information for them, and you can call them and see what's available. So super cool, super nifty, very useful tool. And like I said, in other countries like Canada, they have the AMI network and similar things like this that are provided for people with vision impairments, blindness, and other print impairments. So pretty cool. Anyway, so if you'd like to learn more about what I do day in and day out, you're welcome to check out our website, goodwillvalleys.com/newvision. That's all lowercase and no spaces. So there at that website, you'll find a listing of our other services and programs and a free application for those that live in this area, especially if maybe the Echo wasn't a good solution for you or a family member, but maybe an old-fashioned radio was. So you'll learn more about that there. And most importantly, you guys will find out our links to social media for Facebook or Twitter. Please share with us your thoughts about the podcast or future topic suggestions. Oh, I almost forgot. One other thing I wanted to mention right at the tail end of this episode is a big thank you to Virginia's Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. Through a grant with them supporting many different programs and services here at the New Vision program at Goodwill, was able to help us pay to have the development of this new Blue Ridge reading skill, so that the radio reading service could come to people more readily and easily at a higher quality and fidelity. So we really appreciate their support of that. Well, until next time, it's time to turn the ears back on your Echo, start practicing some of the many things that you've learned. I'm David Ward for the New Vision program, and we thank you for listening.
Thanks, Dave. Let me tell you a bit more. Let me put on my official sounding voice. Ahem. Ahem. This episode is brought to you by New Vision at Goodwill Industries of the Valleys and also made possible in part by a grant from the Virginia Board for the Blind and Vision Impaired. New Vision is a program of Goodwill that provides information services and assistive technology training to individuals with visual impairments. Goodwill Industries of the Valleys is a nonprofit organization serving Central, Southwest, and Southside Virginia. Goodwill's mission is to empower individuals, strengthen families, and inspire communities. These shows are provided for educational purposes. This podcast may not be retransmitted, sold, or reproduced without written permission from New Vision. Thanks for listening.